Hello, my fellow people. Good evening to you all. Hey, is it good evening? Good evening to you all. We're about to begin our the third batch program, which is graphic designing on the software which is Photoshop. About to learn Photoshop. Photoshop. Photoshop is a software which helps in designing flyers, banners, posters, and so on and so forth. That's the work of Photoshop. So we are about to learn the basics. We are about to learn the basics of Photoshop. Basics of Photoshop. That's the first section. The first section involved in getting to know how to use Photoshop. You need to be able to open the folder first before we can learn whatever is in Photoshop. Before we can learn whatever is in Photoshop. So if we go straight to our point now, we begin by share. I'll begin by sharing my screen. To move to I'm sharing of my screen. Move to share then. Just share my screen now. Move to Photoshop. In launching Photoshop, you move straight to the software on your desktop. You locate where the software is, then you double click to launch. You double click to launch. When you double click, you wait for a while for it to be launched. So my own is already opened. So just click at the terminal column. My own is already opened. So this Photoshop, this Photoshop. When you open it, you see this, you see all these features. You see all these features, these Photoshop's features, these Photoshop's features. So in we have the CC and we have the CS6. We have the CC and we have the CS6. So mine is CS6. In launching a new page, you can either go by the shortcut or go by the long procedure. Move to file. When you move to file, you see this column. You see this column or this box containing many of the words. Then you move to new. When you click on new, this dialog box will open. In this dialog box contains all your paper format, the name you want to give to the work, the resolution you want to use, the measurements you want to go for, and the color mode you want to use. So in the name column, you type in the name, any name which you want that file to be called. So you type in, I'll type in silver, that's my name. Then silver. The preset column is where you find for the paper types. The preset column is where you find for the paper types. So in this preset column, we do have many of the categories. We have the default Photoshop size, that's the size known by the PC. And we have the US paper, we have the international paper, we have the photo, we have the web, we have the mobile device, we have the film and video, we have the so on and so forth, and we have the custom also. But actually, we normally use the international paper and the custom. Someone may ask, what is the use of the international paper? Okay, at this international paper column, the international paper is a column where you can find four of your E's. That's the A4, the A3, the A5, the A6, the C, and the D. You there find different kinds of paper type, and you find the B's also. But in that international paper column, we normally use the A4s, the A4s. That's the A4, the A3, the A6, the A2. We normally use only that side of the international paper. And for the custom also is being used when the size is above the international paper. The international paper is to a specific size. It keys to a specific size. So above that size, you move to custom. That's the customized area. Then you enter into the box a digit which you want to enter, which is above the international paper size. Then you enter in with the width column. Then you enter in at the height column. Then you press on OK for your paper size to be open. Maybe my size is of 1 feet by 2 feet. Someone will say, in the column of the selected predefined settings for new document, we don't have feet over there. We don't have feet over there. You see pixels, you see inches, you see centimeters, you see millimeters, you see points, you see picas, and you see columns. You see columns. So you go for the inches. We normally use inches. So 1 feet is evaluated to uh, 12 inches. 2 feet is evaluated to 24 inches. So every 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. Every 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So don't be worried when you size is being given to you as 1 feet by 2 feet. 1 feet by 2 feet. Someone is, but we don't have any feet at Photoshop's column. This is how you go by it. You use the inches, you convert the feet into inches. That's what I was saying, that 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So when the feet is 5 feet, you multiply the 5 by 12 inches, and you get, 5 by the 12, then you get the number for the size you want to use. You get the size, you get the size, you get the size. That's how it goes by. So now we are about to open any size of our choice. So I'll move to international, that's the preset. Then move to the size column. Then you choose for any paper type. We have the D, we have the B, and we have the C, we have the A's. So at the A column, I'll go in for A3, that's the largest. I'll go in for A3, that's the largest. Then click on it, press on OK. When you press on OK, the file will be opened. But you make sure that the resolution is of 300. Make sure the resolution is of 300. But when the work is uh, above 12 inches, or it's above 12 inches, that's 24, 12, 18, 36, 72, you must use a resolution of 72. A resolution of 72. So I can also use a resolution of 300. You can also use it, but your machine will run slow. It will run very, very slow when you are saving it. So for you to get your work faster, you have to reduce the resolution so that it will help you in speeding up working out the work, working out your project, working out your project. So you use a resolution of 72. But if you are using a smaller size, which is below the limit of A4s, below the limit of A4s, you have to use a resolution of 300. You have to use a resolution of 300. That one, you can work very fast with it. But if you decrease that resolution to 72, the work becomes a pixelated work. A pixelated work. You won't see the words or the work very clearer. When you use A4 and you choose a resolution of 72, you won't see the work clearer. So you have to make sure that the resolution is of 300. The resolution is of 300. The resolution is of 300. So now we've already selected our paper now. Now we have already selected our paper now. Now you go by the features. You go by the features. In this file column, we do have certain points we normally use. We normally use the new, the open, the, the save as, the import, the place, the export. These three things we normally use them. And we normally use the script also. Script also, that's the image processor. We normally use that one also. When you move to edit, this column is for editing pictures. Maybe you go for a picture, you want to brighten the picture. That's where you go for the brightness. The image, at this column, you select for the color. The whole works format. If you want it to be of RGB, RGB is the red, green, blue. If you want to go for the CMYK, that's the cyan, magenta, yellow, and the black. That's the printing type of design. The printing type, when you want to print it out with a large format machine, you have to convert it to CMYK. That's the machine's how will I say food? That's the machine's food. But if you want it to be as a document on your phone, you have to make sure that it is of RGB. RGB for you to see the colors very well. For you to see the colors very well. That same place too, we also have the adjustment. The adjustments also helps us in editing or writing pictures. At this column, you can write pictures with any of these features over there. The layer content goes with the layer, goes with the layers, goes with maybe you want to duplicate the layer, you move by duplication over here. Maybe you don't want to go by the shortcut, you go to layer, then you go to duplication. Maybe you want to group the layers, there is group over there, on group, there is some group over there. Maybe you want to hide the layers, there is hide over there. And this type also, at this panel, we also have the panel type, we also have the open type. When you want to take apply any effection on text, you can go over there to select. You also have, when you want to select for white background around the image, you can also go the deselect, you can also go there the filter column. The filter column also is of editing pictures. You can also edit your pictures, cartoon your pictures over here to 3D. This one is for 3D activation. Then the view content. The view, we have the zoom in and the zoom out over there. We have the ruler over there also. The window carries the whole work. It carries the properties. It carries the properties over there. We have the options. When you click on option, you see that all the options at the top goes off. When you go to window, then you tick option, it comes back. When you go to window, then you tick on tools, the tools will go off. Then you click on tools again, the tools will come in once again. The tools will come in once again. That's where the features or the properties are being found. The properties are being found. So now we move by the tools. We move by the tools step by step. By the tools, we won't rush. We will take our time for you to get to get to know how to use the tools very, 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 very well because it is mostly needed. It is mostly needed. We won't rush in getting to complete the tools. We won't rush in getting to complete the tools. So for the first tool is called the move tool or the pick tool. The move tool or the pick tool, you can go by it. You can go by it today, pick tool or move tool. Pick tool or move tool. You do have the shortcut for it. The shortcut is V. When you press on V, it will click the picture. When you press on V, it will select the picture. When you press on V, it will select the picture. Or you move the pointer to that arena, then you click on the move tool. Click on the move tool. That's the uh, that's the procedure in selecting a picture. Whenever you click on a tool, each property pops up at the top of your work. It pops up at the top of your work. Whenever you click on any tool at the left side of your computer, it pops up at the top of your work. So the moving tool helps us in moving images, moving any size, any text type, anything on the surface of your work. On the surface of your work, that's the use of the moving tool. That's the use of the moving tool. And for the second tool is the rectangular marquee tools. The rectangular marquee tools. When we right click, we see different kinds of rectangular marquee tool. When you right click, you see different kinds of rectangular marquee tool. We do have the rectangular marquee tool. We do have the elliptical marquee. We do have the single row marquee. We do have the single column marquee. These tools helps us in cutting forth part of images, objects, text, anything on the surface of your work, cutting forth part of it with this tool. That's the use of that tool. So for tonight, we'll go by these two tools and we'll operate on our sheet for us to see how that tool works. How that tool works. So maybe I'll go in for box, draw my box, then press on V or move to the move tool, click on it. This is the use of the move tools used in picking images to any side you prefer to position it. That's the use of the moving tool. It is the use of the moving tool. The moving tool helps us in moving images to any side of our work, to any side of our work. That's the use of the moving tool. That's the use of the moving tool. So maybe I want to go back. Want to go back to the tools content. Move to correct. It will commit. There's a commit transfer. It will send you back to where you began, to send you back to where you began. That's the commit to, that's the commit to, that's the commit to. So let's move on to the second, that's the marquee, how to use the marquees. How to use the marquees. The marquee tool can never work when you don't rasterize the layer. You have to rasterize the layer before you can use or you can apply the marquee tool. You have to rasterize the layer before you can apply the marquee tool because it has its principles. It has its principles. You have to make the image or the object a vector before the uh, marquee tool can operate. Before the marquee tool can operate. So let's go by this. You draw the marquee tool to the center of your work, then just leave it. When you leave it, let's go by the pick tool. And you see me moving it, it is not cut. Still, the marquee tool is around it. For me to be able to cut this portion, which I have selected, you move to the layer content, then you right click, then you rasterize the layer. You have to rasterize the layer first for it to become a vector. Rasterize it, click on rasterize. When you click on rasterize, you see the rectangle changes to a vector. It changes to a vector. So you go for the pick tool, then you move the cut portion to the top. You move to the cut portion to the top. That's the use of the marquee tool. So let's go back. When you want to deselect or remove the selection from the image, you press on Control D. Sorry, I went off. So you move to the same marquee tool again. You want to use the second properties. You want to use the second style of cutting forth an image. So you move to the properties of the marquee, click on the second one. This second one helps us in cutting forth the image twice at the same time. Cutting forth the image twice at the same time. This is how it goes. When I draw the first marquee at this side, I can also draw another cutting marquee at the same time again. Then you go for the picture, then you move it. So you notice that it has cut two portions. It has cut two portions at the same time using the marquee tool. It has cut two portions at the same time using the marquee tool. That's how you go by the second procedure. You can go for the third one again, click on it, then you click on the third one. You can cut again, then cut. This time when you are cutting, it will be subtracting. It will be subtracting. It won't be added, it will be subtracting. So when you move the cut portion to the top, you see it being subtracted. Whenever you are cutting, then it will be subtracting. So when maybe I draw a larger one, then I also draw another one, it will subtract from the larger one. When I draw it again, it will subtract from the larger one again. So it will be subtracting. That's the use of the second one. But the first one, it will be adding, to be adding, it won't be subtracting. But the second one, it will be subtracting. That's the use of that way too. So let's go for another to maybe I type. Okay, so we are talking of how to cut a text using the marquee. So maybe my text, I'll increase my text for it to be bigger, increase my text for it to be bigger. Don't mind if I'm not explaining, we'll come there how to use the text to, okay. I'm making an example as well. So maybe I have typed the text now, then I want to cut off some part of the text, some part of this text off using the marquee. So I'll select the marquee, then maybe I want to cut the middle of the text off. So we move to the text column, right click. When you right click, I click on this. When you click on it, the text becomes a vector. Then you press on V or you go for the move to click on V, you press on delete. Press on Control D to deselect. You notice that some part of the text is off. Some part of the text is off. That's the use of the marquee. So let's go back. Let's go back. So I want to subtract this time around. I'll click on the text, click on the marquee, then go for the second property. That's the second property. Add to selection. So I'll draw to this point, draw again, then go for the pick tool, remove the cut portion off. You notice that this cut portion looks like how will I say, a gun. It looks like a gun. It looks like a gun with the help of the add selection, add selection, add selection. You can go for the subtracted one also. Click on the subtracted one, draw it very large, then you draw. It will subtract. Then you press on V, click on the layer, then you move the portion. You notice that this one also looks like a gun, but it is how will I say, left sided. It is at the left sided, but the first one it was at the right sided. It was at the right sided. That's the use of the second one also. Let's go into the marquee tools. Right click, move to the elliptical. You can also use the elliptical also. Click on elliptical, then you draw a circle. Elliptical is of circle. And you go for the pick tool, moving toward the pick tool, select the layer first, then you move the cut portion off also. Me tutorials na wafrɛ me o sɛ sisi a wama network na ate akɔ no no. Also o de den aka ho. Ah. O de aka timetable no. Oh, sir. Atia. So we use the elliptical marquee tool in cutting forth this. We use the elliptical marquee tool in cutting forth what we are seeing over here. Is with the help of the elliptical marquee tool. So press on go back, going back. So we can go for the elliptical, then go for the add selection, type draw, And you add another selection to it. So now we've already gotten to know how to use the elliptical, then we've gotten to know how to use the rectangular, then we've gotten to know how to use the types of the marquee, the type of the marquee, that's the add addition and the subtract addition at the same time in a curtain, at the same time in curtain. So let's move on to the next. Right click, that's the